All right. This is Lambeau Sports featuring Sideline Sports Network, featuring the Big Brother. This is another SEC matchup. South Carolina versus Tennessee. This was a great game last year until Hendon Hooker got hurt, and then they got Joe Milton for the rest of the year. South Carolina put 63 on Tennessee last year. Now, I don't think this is the case because South Carolina has a weak offensive line. The run game has been very consistent for 4 games, even though they won last week. Tennessee is struggling to score offensively. Defensively, they can't stop the run. They lost to Florida. I feel like this game could go either way. I'm not confident in Tennessee. They can score points. I'm not confident in South Carolina when it's due to, running the football and Spencer Rattler. This is going to be a tough one for me. I'm going to pick South Carolina to beat Tennessee. All right, it would be 31-24.
Oh, when he's lagging. All good. I'm on the same page as Lambeau. I don't know if he can still hear me or not, but he's lagging on our end. I'm on the same page. I'm going with South Carolina as well. And it might be more recency bias than anything, but, just seeing how well they played against Georgia's just loaded offense in the first half, at least, holding them to just the least amount of points I'm sure they've scored in the first half since Kirby became the head coach. So I'm all in on the South Carolina defense. I do acknowledge the run game hasn't been great, and Spencer Rattler, I've talked about it multiple times up to this point. I don't think he's really in that top tier of quarterbacks at all. And that's definitely not a hot take. Like, I'm not breaking any news here that Spencer Rattler is not a super great quarterback, but I trust him in this game just because the Tennessee defense is not good. It hasn't been good. They allow points. They allow yards. I'm with Lambeau completely. He said it could be a high scoring game. I'm definitely with him there because Tennessee's offense can get stuff rolling. But as I've said in the past, Joe Milton just isn't a very accurate passer. And I don't just with what South Carolina was able to do to a much better Georgia team than this team is in Tennessee, I think they can carry some of that. It's obviously not the same game plan, but I think that they can carry some of that headspace, that I don't know, that the determination that they were showing against a really good Georgia team. I think they can carry that into this team against Tennessee as well. So, Lambert, I don't know if you heard. I'm with you. I'm taking South Carolina, and I just kind of went into my why. Just, the Tennessee defense is, I think, one of the only defenses in the SEC that I think Spencer Rattler could actually pop off against, just because of how they can't stop yardage, they can't stop points. It's been the trend for the past few years, so it's not like I'm not breaking any news here by saying that. I think Spencer's a very, very average quarterback, but he's going against a defense that's a little bit below average. So I think this is his chance to, play up to the moment, just like they did last year with, I get it, Hendon was out, but they still had a great wide receiver duo out there. And it didn't work out for them then. I don't see why, coming off a great game, holding Georgia to as low score as they did when they played Georgia, I don't see why they couldn't, have the same limitations on a Tennessee offense that is, I give you that, they do score a lot of points, but talent-wise, they're not as good as Georgia, and they were holding Georgia to almost nothing until the second half. So I'm with you. I think South Carolina gets the upset here for sure.
Yeah, this will be a game to tune in. It's probably an upset alert, maybe, because we had high hopes for Tennessee competing for the college football playoff or maybe the SEC championship. I mean, despite them winning 11 games last year and destroying Clemson in the Orange Bowl, we had high hopes. But it's a different team, and like you said, you're not really sold on Joe Milton just yet because he couldn't win a starting job at the University of Michigan. So the next game we will talk about a little bit more into depth. Pittsburgh versus Virginia Tech. All right. Lane Stadium. It's a night game. The atmosphere is great. Enter Sandman is one of the best songs that's ever been invented as far as culture. We're going to have to talk about this game a lot because Virginia Tech's bowl hopes is on the line. But I don't think they're making the bowl game this year. But we will talk about that in the next 2 minutes. Just Lambus Water Sports, Silent Sports Network. Next Saturday night game, we're talking about Pittsburgh versus Virginia Tech.